I'm Bob Broughton, a retiree living in Mexico. I made a trip to Antigua, Guatemala for volcano viewing and saw two erupting volcanoes. The first one is Pacaya, which has been a tourist attraction in Antigua for a long time. At one time, you could walk right up to the lava flow, but a major eruption in 2010 and on and off eruptions since 2013 have made this too dangerous. The 2010 eruption was a big one. It spread ash over most of Guatemala, and the Guatemala City airport was closed for 6 days. Viewing Pacaya is not difficult. There are tour companies on every block in Antigua, and they offer daily guided tours to a nearby hill. It's a 4-kilometer hike up and 4 kilometers down. Once you get there, you can also walk across the lava flow from the 2014 eruption. It's still hot enough for roasting marshmallows. Volcán de Fuego has been erupting continuously since April 2017. It's a spectacular sight, but observing it is considerably more difficult. What you have to do is hike up Acatenango, the volcano next door. The trailhead is at Aldea La Soledad, elevation 2,400 meters or 7,900 feet. The summit of Acatenango is 3,976 meters, and the park campground, where you get an excellent view of Fuego, is 3,700 meters or 12,100 feet. I'm going to elaborate on these numbers because they are important. At 2,400 meters, where the hike starts, the oxygen is already getting thin. When you get above 3,300 meters, you can get altitude sickness. So if you live at a low elevation, don't expect to be able to get off a plane in Guatemala City and hike up Acatenango the next day. Instead, spend some time in Antigua or Guatemala City getting acclimatized. It's also important to know that it gets below freezing at that altitude, even in the middle of summer. So you need to bring along some winter clothing with you or rent it from some women at the trailhead. The same women will also rent you a hiking stick. This is essential because most of the trail is volcanic ash, which is slippery under any circumstance, and more so when it's wet. It takes about 4 hours to hike up to the campground and 4 hours down. So it's possible to do it as a day hike, but those tour companies aren't encouraging this. The best thing to do would be to arrange a taxi to Aldea La Soledad that gets you there at 6 a.m. Once you're there, you can rent your hiking stick and winter clothing and hire a guide, which is mandatory within the national park. What the tour companies are offering, though, is an overnight trip. They supply the tents, sleeping bags, and food. The catch is you have to haul it up there, so you should also bring along a backpack for this purpose. Unless you do what I did, pay the tour guide extra to haul it for you. One big advantage of the overnight trip is you can see Fuego erupting at night, and it's spectacular. The first hour of the hike is pretty steep. When you get clear of the cornfields and jungles, this is what you'll see. The volcano on the left is Atitlan, on the lake of the same name. It's 25 kilometers away as the crow flies. It's considered active, but the last eruption was 1853. There are 2 other volcanoes on that lake. A little further on, you'll see Volcán de Agua, which is an Antigua landmark. You can't see it in this picture, but to the right of Volcán de Agua is the Rio Achicuate, Puerto San Jose, and the Pacific Ocean. On the way up, we heard something that sounded like thunder, but the guide said no, that's the sound of Fuego erupting. Here's the sort of thing I saw when we got to the campground. Fuego was erupting every 5 or 10 minutes. Here's some video footage.
Oh, ja. Yeah, great.
That's so funny.
Okay, so I guess the
No, it's his name. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you might. Yeah.
Super quiet.
Where are you at?
El Hostel.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have a kitchen and stuff, so you can't cook, but
Yeah.
it's just like really cozy and
Yeah.
everyone's nice.
That's awesome. Maybe we can just look at the name and they're like, oh yeah, we'll just book it out. Like still in Antigua.
Yeah.
There's
There's
no
no
Wi-Fi.
internet. Every call us up and they're like, no, you have to book over the internet. Like, we don't have internet. So these are the only ones that like answered everything.
I think it's sometimes good to stay somewhere where you're not drinking.
We haven't been drinking at all.
You haven't?
We haven't disappointed. That's a good one.
Oh, that plastic's in the way, I can't see it.
I feel like there's going to be enough time to just that one. That's just like a little drunk.
I reckon when it gets dark, it's going to be pretty.
Oh, I know. Even those little dots, like
Like when it
definitely
spits
stand
out.
out.
We need a buzzer going to the summit. Like, this is a good news.
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, what's
I'm
up
so
there?
happy here.
I bet there's wind at the summit too.
Yeah.
It's probably really
It's
cool.
actually good, it's not too windy here.